The idea started like all great ideas do, over a casual conversation and a few cold brews. This was our annual guys trip, a tradition we have kept alive for almost a decade, alternating between Orioles baseball games in Baltimore and Nationals baseball games in Washington, D.C. This year, we headed to Baltimore, with the highlight being a Baltimore Orioles game versus the Texas Rangers at the iconic Orioles Park at Camden Yards. We opted for the scenic route and chose to travel by Amtrak train, which added an extra layer of adventure to our journey. We boarded the train early Saturday morning, each of us toting a small bag, a cooler on wheels, a big smile, and an appetite for both adventure and some of Baltimore's famous delights. The rhythmic clatter of the train tracks and the panoramic views of the passing landscapes in Virginia, D.C., and Maryland set the perfect backdrop for our journey. We reminisced about past trips, debated over baseball stats, and planned our Baltimore escapades. The camaraderie was infectious, and by the time we pulled into Baltimore Penn Station, we were all fired up and ready to hit the city. Our first stop was, of course, lunch and a Natty Boh, National Bohemian, a Baltimore staple. We headed straight to a local joint in Fells Point renowned for its crab cake sandwiches. Now, I've had crab cakes before, but nothing could prepare me for the culinary masterpiece that Baltimore had to offer. The crab cakes were golden brown, crispy on the outside, and bursting with flavorful lump crab on the inside. Paired with a cold local brew, it was the perfect welcome to the city. After lunch, we strolled through the streets of Baltimore, soaking in the sights and sounds of the bustling harbor and a local bourbon/rye bar. Our destination was Camden Yards for the evening baseball game, the crown jewel of our trip. As we approached the stadium, the excitement was palpable. The smell of popcorn and hot dogs filled the air, mingling with the chatter of fellow baseball fans. We took our places on the platform beyond the outfield fence, beer in hand, perfectly positioned to catch a home run ball. After a couple of innings, we moved to our seats in the middle of a wild and crazy, Orioles-loving crowd in the sold-out stadium. The game itself was a roller coaster of emotions. The Orioles, sitting in first place and boasting a really good team this season, were up against the Rangers, who had just won the World Series last year. The teams were neck and neck, each inning more intense than the last. We cheered, jeered, and shared high fives with strangers who felt like old friends. As the 95 degrees heat became unbearable, we moved locations to watch the last two innings inside the stadium's sports bar. By the time the final out was called, the Orioles had clinched a nail-biting victory, and the stadium erupted in joyous celebration. We lingered a bit, soaking in the electric atmosphere before making our way to a nearby bar to continue the festivities. The next morning, we started our day with breakfast at a local Jewish deli, a hidden gem known for its pickle sampling bar. Yes, pickles. Baltimore, it turns out, takes its pickles very seriously. As we enjoyed our hearty breakfasts, which included a pastrami sandwich, of course, we sampled everything from traditional dill to half-and-half sour and dill, and even sweetbread and butter pickles. Each variety was a new experience, and the staff regaled us with stories of their unique pickling processes. It was a delightful way to kick off our day and added another memorable layer to our Baltimore adventure. As the train chugged back home, we recounted our favorite moments, from the thrill of the game to the unexpected joy of pickle tasting, and obviously the best crab cakes you can find anywhere. It was a weekend filled with laughter, great food, and unforgettable memories with the boys. In the end, it wasn't just about the baseball game, the crab cakes, or the pickles. It was about the shared experiences, the camaraderie, and the simple joy of spending time with friends. Baltimore had welcomed us with open arms and left us with stories that we'll be telling for years to come. And as we pulled into the station back home in Norfolk, one thing was clear: this road trip was a stepping stone to many more adventures to come. Washington Nationals in 2025. Here we come.
Thank you for tuning in to 44 Talks Baseball. Get more at 44talksbaseball.com, where we dive deeper into the legends, moments, and magic of America's pastime.